Sales are down, prices are down. If you look at the headlines, everything's dreadful. So today we're going to look at what's happening in the market. I'll pull up the MLS and we'll look at some of those statistics together. And then I'll talk about what's going to shape the market for the foreseeable future. And one of the things that I found when I was doing some research for this video, it was really shocking for me. So you'll want to stick around for that. Definitely didn't expect it. And it could be a game changer for what's happening in the Colorado Springs real estate market. It may be in other markets too. So let's dig into it. In 2023, nationwide, the sale of existing homes hit a 29-year low. And that was a pretty shocking number to see. In fact, a lot of news publications grabbed that number and ran with it. I saw it in local headlines as well. And Colorado Springs has kind of fallen in line with that. Last year, you can see right here, we sold under 12,000 homes. And I haven't seen that number since I don't know when. I've been licensed. I got my license in 2003, so I've been doing this for a little bit of time, and I haven't seen it hit that number in a long time. Maybe since the Great Recession, maybe even before. But in 2022, you can see we sold 15,000, and the year before we sold 18,000. So what's that doing to prices? Well, I pulled Reventure app. It's a website's called reventure.app. And Nick Gurley has a YouTube channel, and it's pretty awesome. He has a lot of doom and gloom. He's always calling for the real estate market to crash, and has been for some years now. And I'm not saying he's wrong, but he hasn't been right yet. That said, I respect the guy for putting his opinion out there. When I'm looking at these numbers, the places where I'm seeing prices down year over year, this is home value year over year. The places that are seeing the most price reductions are the places that are seeing the most building. So places like 80924, which is Wolf Ranch and Cordera up that way. We have 80927, which is Banning Lewis Ranch for the most part. And then down here we have 80925, which is Lorson Ranch. It's kind of the wide field area. So these are places that are seeing a lot of new homes. And so we've seen prices fall there. Even out here in 80831, there's a lot of construction out that way as well. But some areas aren't seeing any drops. 80920, that's the Briargate area. 80919 is the northwest side of town. Really desirable area. And even downtown, for the most part, we're seeing prices drop maybe about 1% year over year. So not significant. And again, some of the areas are seeing price increases. So, it just goes to show that when you're buying a home, the location does matter. Like I said, Nick Gurley, who has Reventure Consulting, and that's his YouTube channel, has been calling for a crash for years, and a lot of people are calling for market crashes. It's really easy to get clicks when you're calling for a crash. People love bad news more than good news, and when a real estate agent is telling you that the market's not going to crash, you just assume they want to sell you a house. So a lot of times people will focus on the negative and not the positive. So let's just dig into the numbers a little bit. I've got the MLS pulled up. Let's see what's on the market. Let's see what's selling. Let's see what's gone under contract, and let's see what homes are available. So the first thing I do is I just check active homes, and let's scroll down here, and we're going to click single family, and we'll click existing homes. So right down here, you can just see right out of the gate, we're in El Paso County only. We have 877 homes available. So that's not much. When I click on Colorado Springs, that drops it down to 670. So we really don't have many homes available. If you factor in, we have some manufactured homes, some neighborhoods with manufactured homes in them, and you take those out, it drops that number just a little bit farther. So we really don't have much to choose from. 670 homes in a city of 500,000. And then if, like I said, if you take it out of Colorado Springs and you just include El Paso County, it's 877 homes for a population of 750,000 people. Not a whole lot. One of the best indicators we have of a weakening market is a lot of price reductions. So I'm going to show you how many price reductions we've had. Active homes on the market, 1581. If this number changes, it's because the market is changing right now. Homes have gone under contract on the weekend, or people are listing their homes for sale. So that number could change because this is real time. So let's look for price reductions. Of all the homes that have hit the market or that are active on the market right now, 302 of them have had price reductions. And let's look at how many have reduced their price in the last 30 days. Only 30. So people aren't having to reduce the price to sell. A lot of times those reductions are just because somebody wanted to see if they could get a higher price to begin with. Now let's look at what's hit the market in the last week, in the last 7 days. So we've had 190 homes hit the market. Okay. What's gone under contract in that same amount of time? 239 homes have gone under contract. So we're selling more than are hitting the market. And that's why we're seeing prices kind of shoot up, and we're seeing some strength in the market because of that. And I suspect that'll continue at least through the springtime, depending on what rates do. So I have 4 things that I want to share with you that I think could drive the market either higher or lower. And I don't have an agenda here. I'm just trying to pass along information. I'm interested to see this play out just like you are. But the first thing I see is builders are pulling fewer permits. They're seeing the downturn in the market just like everybody else. They have fewer buyers. People are concerned about rates, and they're not as likely to buy a brand new home. In fact, a lot of the builders are doing incentives where they're offering I think I saw one yesterday that was a 4.99% fixed rate. They'll just buy the rate down for you. So fewer permits mean fewer homes hitting the market, and that'll keep inventory low. A lot of times when the market's hot, builders will crank out inventory and keep pushing things higher, but they don't look like they're ready to do that right now. So keep an eye out for that. The other thing is foreclosures. Foreclosures are a really good indicator of the health of the market, bankruptcies too. But when you look at foreclosures, the headlines are really scary. You'll see you'll see a statistic that'll be like foreclosures are up 50% or up 100%. And what that means is that's just year over year. But if you had 10 foreclosures last year and you have 15 and foreclosures are up 50%, that's a startling headline, but it's not a terrifying bit of information. So it's unfortunate for the people going through that. But a lot of these houses still have a lot of equity. I saw one yesterday. It was like a $1.4 million house, and they're in foreclosure. They had a notice of election and demand filed on them, but I think they only owe about $700,000-$800,000 on the house, maybe maximum. So odds are they're not going to let that house go back to the bank. They'll sell it and pocket some of that money. But financial hard times are real, and people are struggling right now. So keep an eye on those headlines, but just know that they don't always tell the whole truth. The next thing that could really impact the market is the number of apartments that are being built. If you drive around town, you'll see them everywhere. They're on every corner. And I sold a house to a guy. He goes, "I don't want to live by any apartments, Kevin." I go, "Well, he wanted to be in a new home." I said, "Almost every new neighborhood has an area carved out for apartments, and they usually build them at the end. They don't build them first because nobody wants to live by apartments." But we saw record permits issued in 2021, 2022. Last year, permits were down a little bit, but all those apartments that had started a couple of years ago are now hitting the market. So we saw more apartments hit the market this year than we have, like I said, since the 70s. So that should bring rents down a little bit, or at least keep them from skyrocketing. There's no indication that it's done much to drop rates, but I suspect that we'll see rates for apartments drop a little bit. One of these brand new apartments, it was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and they have a brand new complex, about $1,850 to $2,000 a month, which isn't cheap. But if you have that one that's $1,800 a month, and then you have one that's 30 years old that's charging the same amount of money, the older place is going to have a hard time getting that same rent. So we should see them drop their rents as well. And hopefully it makes things a little bit more affordable. I don't see this being something that pushes landlords to sell their homes and get out of the rental market. But at some point, maybe it could. I don't know. Colorado's not very landlord friendly, and it's shifting more that way. So we'll see what happens with that. And the last one I want to share with you is, as I was looking for foreclosure numbers, and this story isn't going to have a huge impact on the market itself, but it could be an indicator of what's to come. Builders have made a lot of money over the last 10 years. The market's been great. Everybody has sold more homes than they've ever sold before. And now that the market shifted, some of these builders are really feeling it. And one of those builders is Creekstone Homes. And I was looking at foreclosure numbers, and I saw 5 notices of election and demand with Creekstone Properties listed as the owner. And I did a little digging, and 2 of those were spec homes. One of them was finished and one of them isn't. And then the other 5 properties, I think it was 7 lots, that haven't been built on. Best I can tell, they own 7 lots that they haven't made payments on, and foreclosure proceedings have started. So I hope Creekstone pulls out of this. They've been in the market for a long time. But home builders are really feeling it. So if you want to build a new home, you really need to be careful about who you choose to build that home. And, you know, if you want to get into a business deal with somebody for 6 to 12 months, knowing that these guys are kind of feeling the strain of the financial market that's really put a hurt on them. So if rates don't come down, I think we could see more builders in trouble. And you definitely want to keep that in mind if you're looking for a new home. So is it a good time to buy a house? Maybe. Everybody's different. Some people are going to move here. It'll be PCS season before we know it, and a lot of military families will move in. And the thing they need to know is that real estate agents are dropping like flies. I think last year we lost something like 70,000 real estate agents out of the business, gone. And a lot of people that are in the business are struggling right now. So your real estate agent may not be the best person to tell you if now's a good time to buy a house or not. They may know, and they have a fiduciary responsibility to do what's best for you. But when you're looking for somebody to help you decide, you pretty much have your mind made up. So your realtor probably won't change that. But if you're a military family, you're moving here for 4 years, if prices drop and you have to PCS to another duty station, you might be a landlord. Right? There's a real possibility that you'll be a landlord because you can't sell your house. Now, that said, I've sold homes to people who were here for 4 years, and when they sold it, they left with enough money that it changed their quality of life. Right? They made $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 over 4 years, but that's not a given anymore. We don't know what's going to happen. So I think the main things you want to keep in mind are don't overbuy. Don't buy more than you can afford comfortably, and pick the right location. You know, you don't want to live in Murderville, but you also, you don't want to live in the nicest neighborhood and where you're struggling to make the payments to live there. You might want to live in a place where you can house hack a little bit. Maybe you want to have something where you can rent the basement out, right? And that'll offset some of your mortgage. So it's not a wrong time to buy, especially with inventory as low as it is. You just need to be smart about what you buy if it's right for you. If you're not sure, let me know. If you want to talk about it, I'll talk you into or out of it. I can do either one, but everybody's different. I will say this, I don't know any wealthy people who only rent. If you want to accumulate wealth, buying a home has been the most tried and true method of accumulating wealth. As far as I know, as far back as I know, it's unless you're YOLOing on some, crypto, maybe you can make more money that way, but it's a stability and a place to live forever. There are some builders. There's a builder here in town out east they're building single family homes with 2-car garages, and then over the 2-car garage, they put what's called an ADU. It's a rental unit, so you can buy a house for $550,000. You can have a rental unit over your garage, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, that you could probably rent for a 1-bedroom apartment. Brand new is $1,500. So maybe you can get $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 a month for it and help offset your mortgage. So you want to be smart about what you buy, and you want to work with somebody who knows who wants to work with you on what your goals are. Everybody's different. So just find somebody who will listen to you on that. If you want to sell, it might be a good time to sell. In fact, if you want to sell, if you're thinking about it, I would say do it now rather than later. As long as you don't have another home in your neighborhood that is lower than yours, you can get a higher price for it. So usually we see inventory start to creep up a little bit from here through about April, May. And once Memorial Day hits, we start to see buyer demand fall off. Kids are out of school and people start going on vacation. And we start to see people who want to list their house now that their kids are out of school. So inventory's up and demand drops. So I would say the sooner you get your house on the market, the more money you'll make. Again, everybody's situation is different. You just need somebody who'll listen to you and hopefully give you some solid advice, get a lot of different sources of information, and hopefully that'll make you a more educated consumer so you can make the best decision for yourself. So Thanks for watching. I appreciate you taking the time. If you haven't yet, please give this video a thumbs up. It lets YouTube know to share it with other people just like yourself who are interested in real estate in the Colorado Springs market. And I'm happy to help. I've got my contact information down below. Reach out to me, give me a call or a text, and I look forward to hearing from you. I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks so much.